Hey guys, welcome back to another 1 minute breakdown. UFC Vegas 66. Really excited for this card. I think there's a lot of great leans and great money lines that are still priced pretty decent. And I'm really looking forward to the last event of the year. Then we get a couple of weeks off before the first card in January. So let's kick this right off. 1 minute breakdown. You guys know how it is. We break down each fight in 1 minute or less, keeping it short and simple, easier to listen for you guys. So let me go ahead and start off, and we're doing it with the speed glasses. So first fight of the night, we have Sergey Morozov against Journey Newson. Sergey Morozov is the better striker, more powerful striker. Newson is a little more accurate, I would say, but one path to victory for me is Morozov is able to get these takedowns and control Newson on the floor for as long as this fight lasts, because I do think that Morozov wins this inside the distance more often than not. With the grappling, he's able to drown Journey Newson and eventually get his ground and pound or submission finish. So I'm all over Sergey Morozov in this one. Next fight up, we have David Dvorak against Manel Kape. Manel Kape coming off 2 UFC wins, both knockouts of Odi Osborne and Zhalgas Zhumagulov. The one thing about Dvorak did not impress me against Nicolau in that last fight. He was very hittable. It looks like every strike that Nicolau was landing really affected Dvorak, and he just looks like he doesn't like to get hit. And when you're going against someone like Manel Kape, if he hits you once with that power shot, you're out. So give me Manel Kape here inside the distance. I believe he gets it done via KO, and the Starboy does it again. Next up, we have Brian Battle against Renat Fakhretdinov, a fight that I like a lot. Brian Battle coming off of a spectacular knockout win last time out, and then Renat Fakhretdinov making his UFC debut last time out, and he drowned his opponent. And a really impressive victory with the grappling. I think he has more tools than Brian Battle here. I think the grappling is going to be a little bit too much early on. Brian Battle may be able to stuff a couple of takedowns, but as this fight goes on, I think Brian Battle is able to uh, get fatigued, and I think Renat's going to land these takedowns a little bit easier, making it an easy path to victory for a decision for Fakhretdinov. That was a hard name. Next up, we have Rafa Garcia against Maheshate. I tried fading Maheshate last time around for this sole fact about the grappling. Steve Garcia just did not want to do any sort of grappling. He wanted to stand and bang with the man, and that's the one thing you don't want to do with Maheshate. It's very powerful striking, very clean boxing. Now we're getting Rafa Garcia at an even better price point to fade Maheshate, who Rafa Garcia's main aspect of his game is takedowns. And I think Rafa Garcia is going to be successful. He's going to expose Maheshate on the ground, maybe get us lock up a submission, or win a decision. But I think it's more of a submission for Rafa Garcia here, utilizing the takedowns, utilizing the wrestling, and exposing the poor grappling of Maheshate. So give me Rafa Garcia. Next up, we have Said Nurmagomedov against Said Yakub Kakramanov. Said Nurmagomedov is one of the best strikers from the Nurmagomedov family. I really rate his kicking game. It's spectacular. And then you look at Said Yakub Kakramanov. He's more on the wrestling side. He has some slick striking as well, but he relies more on his wrestling. What I want to say here is this fight can go one of two ways. Either Kakramanov is able to land the takedowns and drown Said as the fight goes on and wins a decision, 30-27, or Said Nurmagomedov is able to keep his distance with his kicks and not allow Said Yakub to enter in with these takedowns, so completely stopping him from entering at all. That's going to be the key factor here. Very hard fight to read. I lean towards Said Yakub Kakramanov because obviously the wrestling, but you can't underrate Said Nurmagomedov. This might be the best price we ever get Nurmagomedov for a while. So very hard to give a lean here. Next up, we have Julian Marquez against Deron Winn. Let's just say how it is. Deron Winn is 5'6", and Julian Marquez is 6'2". Punching upwards, you're adding more reach. It's going to be really hard for Deron Winn. I understand he has the wrestling upside here, but is he going to be able to take down Julian Marquez, a man who's much larger than him? It's going to be tough. I understand Julian Marquez doesn't have the best takedown defense, but even in a fight where Deron Winn landed 12 takedowns against Christian Arroyo, he still lost the fight. He got outstruck. So I lean to Julian Marquez here. I think he can do it inside the distance or by decision. So I think the money line is a definite play for me. Julian Marquez has pretty slick striking. Last time out, I think he took enough damage and took enough time off to recover from that. So give me Julian Marquez. Next up, we have Jake Matthews against Matt Semmelsberger. Word vomit there for a second. Jake Matthews came out last fight against Andre Fiallo. Perfect performance, dominant in the striking, and then was able to take down Fiallo multiple times. Jake Matthews really showed that he improved his game over the time that he took off, but this price is pretty ridiculous. I think this is recency bias at its finest. Matt Semmelsberger, pretty well-rounded fighter. I think he can stuff the takedowns and maybe get a takedown of his own here. The striking might be a little bit equal in my opinion. Jake Matthews slight edge, but I think this fight should be lined closer to like a minus 150 Jake Matthews, not a minus 260s, 270. So I'm probably taking a shot on the dog here with Matt Semmelsberger. Really well-rounded fighter and a good gas tank. I really rate his toughness as well. So give me Jake Matthews to lose this one. Next up, we have Cheyenne Vlismas against Corey McKenna. Cheyenne Vlismas is going to be the taller, or sorry, the longer fighter with 63 inches of reach and 58 inches of reach for Corey McKenna. So there is a pretty big reach discrepancy, especially in a WMMA fight. The better striker here is Cheyenne Vlismas. She's very clean with her boxing. She has immense power, and we saw how bad Corey McKenna looked against Elise Reed a couple fights ago. That was not a good look. And if she's not able to land her takedowns, she's pretty much a fish out of water, which Cheyenne Vlismas has some pretty good takedown defense here. She looks to be in tremendous shape just based off of her Instagram. And I'm leaning towards Cheyenne Vlismas here, but I will not be playing it due to the line being a little bit too wide for a women's MMA fight. We've seen those burn us multiple times. But ultimately, decent parlay piece. Next up, we have Cody Brundage, friend of the show, against Michal Oleksiejczuk. Michal is a huge favorite in this fight for reasons that he's able to knock people out with that one punch power. Both of these guys like to get it done early and often. I like the under 1.5 in this fight a lot. I also like Cody Brundage in this fight as a dog shot. I don't think we've ever seen Oleksiejczuk have to deal with the wrestling all that often. And the fight where he's conceded a takedown, he lost. So he's never won a fight where he's gotten taken down. If Cody Brundage is able to employ the wrestling, I think he runs away with this one, and I think he can submit Oleksiejczuk on the ground. So give me Cody Brundage. Give me the under 1.5. I love both of these looks. Next up, fan favorite Drew Dober against Bobby Green. Drew Dober is the much more powerful puncher here. Bobby Green with the more volume and more accurate striking. I just don't see a way where Dober doesn't get the knockout here. Bobby Green leaves his head hanging really bad. It's just in front of the fighter, and if you do that against Drew Dober, you're gonna get knocked out. Now, I'm not gonna say that Bobby Green can't run away with a decision win here. So Drew Dober finish only is probably a good prop to look at, depending on the price. Yeah, I lean Drew Dober. Not too passionate about this fight myself. Next up, we have Julian Erosa against Alex Caceres. Julian Erosa has some decent wrestling. Alex Caceres obviously is a black belt in jiu-jitsu, slick submissions. I think Julian Erosa is able to negate that. On the striking, it's Erosa all day for me. And even though he does get hit a lot, Alex Caceres gets hit a lot too, and his striking is not all that well. So give me the fighter with the better striking, fighter that can take down, and the fighter that can negate some of the black belt jiu-jitsu craftiness of Alex Caceres here. I'm taking Julian Erosa, but no play on the money line here. Next up, we have Amir Albazi against Alessandro Costa. Amir Albazi is the biggest favorite on this card. I think Amir Albazi is going to have this fight any which way he wants to, whether it's a ground and pound TKO or a submission. I just don't know what round, because this dude, Alessandro Costa, looks like he's a tough dude based on the tape, and he could take a punch. But eventually, Amir Albazi is going to drown him and probably win inside the distance. If you can get inside the distance at a decent price, I would definitely look towards that. Another fighter coming out of Extreme Couture, one of my favorite gyms in MMA at the moment. So Amir Albazi via any which way he wants to. Next up, co-main event, we have Arman Tsarukyan against Damir Ismagulov. Damir Ismagulov is the plus 145 favorite here. Underdog. This talking really fast kind of hurts. Damir Ismagulov is the better striker, in my opinion, in this matchup. The question for me is he able to stop the takedowns of Arman Tsarukyan, and is he able to get takedowns of his own? Because that's what he struggled with in his last fight against Gamrot. Did Arman get the takedowns early on? Yes, but as the fight progressed, uh, Gamrot was able to stuff these takedowns left and right and get takedowns of his own and keep it standing as well, where he hurt Arman a couple of times. Now, I don't think Arman lost that fight, but if you keep it close with Arman, he does fight down to his competition. And Damir Ismagulov is not that far down in competition. Damir Ismagulov is a very, very skilled fighter. I really rate his striking way better than Gamrot in the striking department, just to say the least. Um, Early line, I would have taken Arman. Now it's kind of getting out of hand. I would probably take Damir. Ultimately, this is the fight of the night for me. Gotta watch it. Last but not least, we have the main event: Jared Cannonier against Sean Strickland. Sean Strickland is the minus 120 favorite here, and both fighters have different skill sets. Sean Strickland is obviously gonna be putting on volume and trying to win a decision. I don't think he's going to be able to knock Jared Cannonier out, but he will out volume him if Jared Cannonier lets him. Jared, people forget, has heavyweight power in those hands. He fought all over heavyweight, light heavyweight, middleweight. So I think Jared can get a finish here, especially after Strickland being knocked out cold in his last fight against Pereira. Jared Cannonier finish only props, lock those in. Those are really nice. I don't see a world where Sean Strickland knocks Cannonier out. And if it goes to a decision, quite frankly, I think Sean Strickland won the fight. That means he employed his game plan and he got what he wanted to. Sean Strickland, another fighter out of Extreme Couture gym that I respect very much. So tough to give an official lean here, but I would say Sean Strickland by decision or Jared Cannonier by knockout. But time to take these glasses off. That's another episode of 1 Minute Breakdowns. Thank you for those who are watching. Thank you for those who are watching in the future. Stat Daddy, appreciate you, my man, always supporting the channel. If you guys haven't already, please like, comment, and subscribe. I really appreciate it. It helps out a lot. Have a good day. Let's kill this final card of the year. Peace.